Welcome to Namely 90s, the podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
Hello, welcome to the show. This is Andrew. Over there, that's Brandon. You're listening to Namely 90s. You can find us online at www.namely90s. That's with a 90s or a 90s if you feel like spelling it out, .com. So here we are again, back to our regular format, business as usual. And we are, well, okay, let me rephrase that. Back to our regular format, but with a spirit of activism. And that's what we're going to move on to the next topic.
And that's where we're going to start in June 1998. So let's set the scene, travel back in time, and see what was going on during the month of June in 1998. It oddly fitting for what we talked about last episode. On June 7th, James Byrd Jr. was beaten and dragged to death by three white supremacists in Jasper, Texas.
It's very on par for Texas.
Especially during the 90s, apparently. He was a part of an advocacy group against capital punishment. And two of his three murderers were eventually killed via capital punishment. I thought that was interesting. And then I have another tidbit, but can share later. The Red Wings sweep the Stanley Cup. The Bulls win the NBA Finals. Banjo-Kazooie was released for the Nintendo 64.
Oh, yeah.
The TV series Sex and the City premiered on June 6th. And since it's summer months, let's see what's in the box offices. The Truman Show, Mulan, the XFiles movie, Dr. Dolittle, and Can't Hardly Wait. And finally, the song of the summer / the Billboard Top 100. The top song was The Boy's Mine by Brandy and Monica for all of the summer.
That was basically my anthem that year, frankly.
Yeah, right. Although I thought the second song for the Top 100 or Hot 100 for the week of June 15th was your song, which was You're Still the One by Shania Twain.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Shania Twain, frankly?
Yeah, she was a very popular artist. But I just wanted to throw in one more interesting piece of information about James Byrd Jr. That one of his three murderers who was being sentenced to death, his last meal was so excessive that they refused, and then he refused to eat it, which prompted the ending of last meal requests in Texas.
Oh,
let me read the meal for you. It included 2 chicken fried steaks smothered in gravy with sliced onions, a triple patty bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet with ground beef, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers, and jalapenos, a bowl of fried okra with ketchup, 1 pound of barbecued meat with half a loaf of white bread, 3 fully loaded fajitas, a meat lover's pizza, 1 pint of Bluebell vanilla ice cream, shout out Bluebell ice cream, and a slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts and 3 root beers.
So basically my typical dinner.
But what happened to that diet?
Well, 2 weeks have passed now, and here we are. I'm drinking coffee, so that's something. It's not happening. I'm trying.
Runs. Okay. I thought, again, we focus on more than just pop culture and movies, but I know that you're a giant X-Files fan, so I thought we would talk about the X-Files movie first, because I clearly remember watching that at your birthday party when it was released on DVD.
I love that movie. I mean, it's a part of the story arc, obviously.
Yeah, it's very part of the...
I think the fun of it was back then, you had your TV, the old 4x3 format, sort of low def 480i or whatever. And when you got to see him on the big screen, it was like, widescreen like effects, and it was actually not terrible to watch because it was HD. So I think that was part of the draw. Like back then when they made a TV show into a movie, you got that aspect of things. Now, the X-Files is released on multiple platforms for streaming, and it's in high def because it was recorded as such. So I think that was part of it.
I just thought it was interesting that like it was a part, like it takes place after season 5, before season 6. And you had to go watch this movie or else you wouldn't know.
Didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And what was creepier than the black oil? That was so cool.
I more was afraid of the bees. The one thing I remember about that movie is that there were bees and swarms of bees.
Yeah, the whole sequence in the big bubble thing, like in the middle of the field, where the vents start opening and the bees start flying out, and then they do that like novelty sort of 80s, 90s, like look at each other. I mean, they didn't quite do this, but it's like look at each other, look at the camera, look at each other again, and then start running. Again, it wasn't that exaggerated, but it had that sort of flavor to it,
Mm-hmm. and then I vaguely remember something about a spaceship in the ice or something. Was that movie?
Yeah, he drops into this like hole, and he falls down into this spaceship. At the end of the movie, he like tries to take off, and they jump out of it at the last minute, and it's very heroic and whatever. And then they're still inexplicably in the middle of the Arctic, and no one's aware that they're there. But
and they somehow get back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The X-Files. I know that you were a giant fan.
Yeah, I find it a little hard to watch now just because it actually can be a little bit slow. And I feel like I don't have much time in my life anymore. So I have a short attention span. So I tend to gravitate toward things that are a little faster paced, but it's just a classic show.
Did you watch the 2 new seasons that came out?
Oh boy. I mean, David Duchovny, it looks like he maybe had some bad work done or something. He just looks wrong now.
Really? Because I mean, I didn't think he aged much since. I mean, he doesn't look like he did in the 90s. He's not Keanu Reeves, but he still looks similar.
I thought it had merit. I think the problem is they always try to like insert new characters, and we're never going to like them as much as we like the old people. This is something I never learned. I think what they're trying to do is like sort of pass the baton a little bit, but it just never really works.
So that was Robbie Amell playing the new Mulder, I think, and then the redheaded girl from some other TV series that I was like, really? You're gonna try to make them the new Mulder and Scully with no chemistry?
Yeah, I just don't think it works. I'm sorry. But the sad thing is, like, it was on the air for, was it 9 or 10 episodes, or sorry, seasons, I should say. But there's just all this,
for 2 more.
There's all this other garbage that's been on the air for an eternity. Grey's Anatomy. And I just don't understand how such better shows go off the air faster. I don't know. I think toward the end of the X-Files, they were just kind of reaching.
That and the contracts for the the actors expired and they had to re-up for more money. Really,
really popular shows with like 2 sort of flagship actors, it's tough. Because it's really easy to lose them to things like costs and all that. And then the series that seem to last longer are those ones that have the sort of ensemble cast. Like ER was on 15 seasons, but very few people were on it the whole time.
Yeah, they switched through as much as Grey's Anatomy does.
And they did a good job of finding people who worked. Like, you didn't want them to be the old character. You liked the character that they were. But then these other shows, like, I don't know, any show you want to name. I mean, I think Bones was like that. X-Files, 24, House. Hugh Laurie was one of the highest paid actors for a long time, and it just kind of came to a conclusion. And there's just no way you can keep someone like that for 15 or 20 years. So just those really good shows seem to have a kind of a life of 7 to 10 seasons. It seems like.
Yeah, that's such a short lifespan.
It's not enough. Okay.
6 seasons in a movie. Yeah. I mean, it's not enough. Well, you got season 10 and 11 of the X-Files.
All right. Well, then there was some 24 stuff. And
Oh yeah.
And
Did you watch the spinoff? I heard that was actually good, even though it got canceled.
I think I watched anything and everything related to that show.
So you watched it was I think it was after the second comeback from 24.
Was it the Legacy one?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, it was watchable, and I just like the nostalgia of it. You know, it's like it's a show I liked.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get sad when there's shows that I love that I know never really have a way back. Like House, for example. I mean, at the end of it, he faked his own death and off into the sunset he went, and he's in a lot of trouble. So I guess it's possible he gets found, goes to jail, comes back again. But, you know, it's just he's getting older and older. You've got, you know, ER, which right now there's so many medical shows on the air and they're all just horrendous. But they're there and it's like there's just no niche for it to come back. And they kind of did it all already. So what else do you do? I mean, the medical shows have really done everything and now they're just looking to more crazy things like Santa Monica Pier being hit by a tsunami. Thank you, 911.
Oh yeah, and then they have like all the like city specific.
Well, like you have the whole Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago Police, and people love to use Chicago for medical shows. I don't know what that is.
That's must be cheap to film there.
There's also a lot of like I don't know. There's just a lot of crime there. For lack of a better way to put it.
Wow, it took 11 minutes, but we've gone back on last episode.
No, I'm saying, I mean, if you want to get back into the philosophical nature of things, I mean, that's a town that really needs some help because, you know, you can't deny the amount of sort of gang violence and shootings and that stuff that goes on there. But again, that comes back to some of the systemic issues that we've established over centuries in this country that we need to try to reverse.
Isn't Blue Bloods also set in Chicago?
New York.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yep. Johnny Wahlberg.
Tom Selleck.
The other guy? Tom Selleck. The lady who played the wife on The Sum of All Fears. It's really just a star-studded cast. No, actually, it's pretty good. But the music is like too much. It's too loud, and it's like they're trying to have dialogue, but there's really dramatic music overplaying, and it's like I can't hear what they're saying.
Oh, like so any Disney movie ever?
Yes, we should start doing our show like that.
I mean, I can play around with the mix. Speaking of Disney movies, Mulan came out. Do you remember that?
Is that the one with like Christina Aguilera and all the makeup? Oh no, sorry, that was Moulin Rouge.
Wow.
No, I was kidding. Yeah, actually, the kids just watched that. It's a fun one.
I remember it being good. I also in my free time in the last 2 months, I played every single Kingdom Hearts game.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Kingdom Hearts smashes up a Final Fantasy style adventure through a bunch of different Disney movies. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, you have to help Mulan save her people and play through that entire movie, essentially. And then I also remember that... So I also watched this TV show on ABC called Once Upon a Time.
Oh no!
Where they reimagined like all the Disney princesses and characters as people that interacted. In Once Upon a Time, Jamie Chung played Mulan, but I thought the interesting twist was Mulan was in love with Princess Aurora instead of the dude from the army.
And interestingly, Jennifer Morrison, House alum, was on that show too.
Mm-hmm.
I could never get past the thing. My wife watched it, and I could never get past the thing where I was watching it, and I was just like, "Who cares? Seriously, stop dramatizing it so much."
I think
is it still on the air?
No, it went off the air a few years ago. They did 4, maybe 5 seasons, and then they decided to soft reboot it because Jennifer Morrison left. So they're like, oh, here's another curse. Everyone forgot. And then they're in like a suburb of Seattle. And the kid, Henry, I think his name was, travels through time and is now like 22.
Who is the mousy girl with the short hair? Is she in anything? Is she famous, or is she just sort of in that show?
Jennifer Morrison.
No, the other one. Was she Peter Pan? I'm confused. It's hard to tell.
For some reason, Peter Pan was Rumpelstiltskin's father in that. I don't, because there's a lot of women in that show. I don't know who exactly the mousy one is.
Hold on.
Was it
mousy girl with short hair from Once Upon? It auto completes. That's
a short hair.
Yeah. Okay. Her name is. God, what is her name? Why is it not?
Okay, well, you figure that out. There's a live action reboot that was supposed to come out right
her
before.
Name is Jennifer with a G. Jennifer Goodwin.
Oh, I thought that was the one that you were talking about.
No. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, so there was supposed to be a reboot. Oh, yeah, Snow White. She was in something else. There was a reboot. Or no, not a reboot. One of those live action remakes that they've been doing for all the Disney movies right now. Did you even know that? Because it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out the week they shut everything down.
No, I guess I wasn't aware of that. Interestingly,
yeah, and so there's controversy that there's no like it's not a musical like the kids movie. There's no Mushu the dragon. At least we haven't seen him in any of the promos. And it's supposed to be released on March 27th, but the pandemic has rescheduled it now for July 24th. Which
is it like one of those like the
Lion
Red
King.
Lobster?
What?
Oops! I just whacked my thing.
Say Red Lobster.
Under the Sea. Little Mermaid with Shaggy as the lobster. It was awkward. I didn't even know what to do with that.
Was that
no? It was like a live TV musical.
The musical
thing.
No. So they did the musical, but there's also 2 live action remakes that they're making.
Oh right, yes. I get it.
This is more akin to the Lion King. They did the Lion King recently. Like Beyonce was Nala or something, and
right. Yes, it's a dark movie. My kids were watching it the other day, and I hadn't watched it for a while. I was like, "Jeez."
Yeah, it's Hamlet in Disney form. Kind of. Well, everything's Hamlet in Hamlet form. Well, I mean, yeah. Also, let's see. There is also some upset people that Mulan's love interest, Captain Li Shang, was dropped in response to the Me Too movement. And then there's social media backlash about that for fans of the original film and members of the LGBTQ community.
Wasn't there also a controversy of like that they didn't use because she's in that movie, she's Chinese, right?
Yes.
So isn't it completely reasonable to use a Chinese actor for that?
Yes. This is not the movie where they did that.
Is it not? What was the movie where they had that issue?
It was recent. It was, technically it happened for Beauty and the Beast because Emma Watson's not French. But the big one was, there's Black Ariel in, I think.
Right. Well, that seems
fine. The other one is Aladdin. Aladdin, they had cast white people in the roles of Jasmine and Aladdin, I believe.
Yeah, it seems a little bit suspect.
Well, when it's a amalgamation of Middle Eastern tales or Middle Eastern culture, you would in today's age, you would at least try to give those roles to minority actors.
You would think. I mean, I'm sure there's some certainly qualified for it, but
yeah, I mean, Scarlett Johansson can play a Japanese manga woman.
Well, hey, Hollywood is very well known for its equal treatment of folks, both by gender and by race. So,
yes,
we have that track record going for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's Mulan. Also, I wanted to bring up Rick and Morty because if you don't remember when season 3 came out 2 years ago, I think at this point, on April 1st, they released an episode where Rick is stuck in a mine prison and convinces the person he's with to go get McNuggets from McDonald's and get all the Mulan McNugget sauce he can get. So back when Mulan was originally released, McDonald's released a special dipping sauce called Szechuan sauce that I remember having when I was a kid and remember it being very good. And then McDonald's tried to capitalize on that random shout out of pop culture by bringing it back for one day, but they didn't anticipate how many fans of the show would actually want to try this. So there were riots by neck-bearded fanboys that they couldn't get their Szechuan sauce for the McDonald's chicken nuggies.
Nuggies. Yeah, that's a word I've been hearing a lot lately that I'd never heard previously.
Yeah, I kind of hate it, but I've been using it the last few days because I've tried to make some at home.
Let's see.
Yeah. So to finish off our travel through June 1998, I wanted to do another BuzzFeed quiz, but this time I'm going to guide you through it.
Okay. Is it visual?
Not as visual as the last one. This one's
all right,
more.
I'll try.
Okay, so this one is called "Which Sex and the City character are you actually?"
Okay, this is fun. I like this.
Okay, so I want you to pick one of Carrie's love interests: Mr. Big, Aiden Shaw, Jack Berger, or Alexander Petrovsky. Jack Berger is the guy from Office Space.
What am I choosing based on? Just whatever criteria I wish?
Yes, because we don't know who these characters are at all.
It has to be Mr. Big because Chris Noth played a detective in Law & Order and Law & Order Criminal Intent, which was my favorite one, and he was in it. So I'm going Mr. Big.
Okay, so I went for Jack Berger originally.
Okay.
What's the city of your dreams? Paris, London, Venice, Dubai, Tokyo, Mumbai, Amsterdam, NYC, or Berlin?
I'm going to go London. I think I like the fact that I could actually speak the language, but they're more sophisticated and it seems like a cool place. I've never been. So London.
All right. Now pick one of Miranda's love interests: Steve Brady, Dr. Robert Leeds, Weight Watchers guy, or Skipper Johnson. Steve Brady and Skipper Johnson look very similar. They have your hair and glasses. And
I don't know how to choose because none of those names mean anything to me.
Dr. Robert Leeds looks like a
I'm going doctor.
Okay.
Just because I have some connection to that sort of. Was this like a plastic surgeon or a chiropractor?
I never watched a single episode.
Okay, I'm going with the doctor.
Cool. What's your style like? Classic, boho, preppy, romantic, goth, mod, vintage, all black everything, or whatever?
Whatever. Although, interestingly, I just signed up for Stitch Fix and
oh god, really?
Trying to become less of a slob.
So you should definitely try to get them to promote us.
Well, we promote them, and then we get paid $25 if you sign up. But no, so far my experience with Stitch Fix has been great. For your first Stitch Fix, visit stitchfix.com. No, I don't have the
namely 90s.
Yeah, I don't have the promo in front of me because we don't do promos yet. But
but in the future,
it's actually really cool.
Sticking in there.
I think I got it purple.
All right. That's very you. Pick one of Charlotte's love interests. Trey McDougal. This is the guy from Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Harry Goldenblatt. He's the bald guy from Californication. Ned or Stefan the chef. Excuse me. Stefan's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and then Ned looks like he's mourning the loss of a wife.
I'll go Stefan. I'm a kind of a foodie, so that feels like a solid choice.
All right. Which TV show would you marathon on a night in? The Crown, 13 Reasons Why, Friends, The Walking Dead, 4 Weddings, Top Chef, Stranger Things, The Simpsons, or Sex and the City?
Friends.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Pick one of Samantha's love interests. Smith Gerard. He looks like one of the brothers from Hanson. Maria Reyes, Richard Wright, or Guy with the Funky Spunk?
I'm going Hanson guy based on our discussion a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Weird you didn't pick the only woman that was... what's your sign? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces.
Libra.
And pick someone to get coffee with. And these are all characters from the show. Stanford Blatch. He's the mousy guy that's in every science fiction show. Enid, who looks like a 60s housewife. Anthony Martino, bland white person. Lexi Featherston looks like she's smoking a cigarette in a fancy dress. Magda, who looks like she's a centennial. And Bill Kelly, who was the guy that played Tony Stark's dad in the movies, but not the younger one.
I'm going to go with Lexi. Was it Featherstone? Featherston? Yeah, that sounds funny.
Saucy. And then finally, why are you so damn awesome? Because you're funny, you're pretty, you're rich, you're powerful, you're fit, you're fun, you're chill, you're employed, or you're alive. I'm going employed. So that's about all I have going for me right now. Oh my god. Okay. You got Samantha.
Oh no.
You either live your inner Samantha out loud or took this quiz to find out that you definitely are a total Samantha. Get out there and show the world what you've got. Well done. I ended up with Miranda. Of course I did.
Yeah, that's funny. So you look like a boiled horse, to quote Jeremy Clarkson, and I look like someone who Family Guy made fun of once, but I can't remember the exact joke.
I think it was
something about her legs needed oil because she's so old.
She was originally on Star Trek, one of the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, she looks familiar. What else has she been in? I don't know.
Sex and the City.
I don't know. Anyway, so wow, that was fun. I knew very few of those characters because I've never really watched that stuff. But hey, that was an interesting exercise in you wasting time using BuzzFeed to remember the 90s.
Oh yeah, better than the last time. So if you remember anything about June 1998 that we forgot to talk about, let us know. You could find us on Twitter at Namely90s, that's 90S, or find our personal accounts at bshwitty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want to talk about on future episodes. You can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, TuneIn, and wherever you get your podcast at. That's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. I'm Brandon, that's Samantha, and we'll catch you next time.